How has President Ramaphosa emerged from a special ANC NEC meeting where tackling corruption in the party was front and centre this weekend? What's his next move, and could there be a cabinet reshuffle, as has been suggested this morning? Vuyo Mvoko is our political editor. He's had a busy weekend looking at all of this, joins us now on Monday lunchtime. Before the meeting started, how much pressure was the president under, and how has he emerged today?
Enormous pressure, because a lot of his allies and supporters were beginning to lose faith in him. In fact, remember that briefing I was part of last week where Kosato was saying he says one thing, he's not really walking the talk. They've gotten sick and tired of promises that he continues to make, saying all the right things, but unable really to deliver on the promises that he's made. You've seen your churches, you've seen the veterans within the ANC saying he's got to be a lot bolder and be courageous in terms of what needs to be done. So came under enormous pressure. How has he emerged? Well, I think fairly well, I would argue. But a lot is going to depend on what he does next. And he doesn't have a great deal of time, precisely because people have lost patience.
What is the play around his appearance before the Integrity Committee? Was this a clever preemptive strike against his detractors?
I wouldn't say so, because even if he didn't want to, he would have been obliged to do that, because you cannot be seen to be leading this moral or ethical crusade, because the politics of fuss, all these things. You can't be leading a moral crusade and refuse to appear before something as critical for this process as the Integrity Committee. If you listen to Jesse Duarte in the piece that we've been playing this morning, she says the Integrity Committee ticks all the boxes, because not only is it credible in her views and it doesn't favor anybody, but it also provides ANC people with the safe space that they want. Because remember, a lot of the people who don't want corruption dealt with have a lot to gain from the status quo or the inactivity of a Cyril Ramaphosa and everybody who thinks like him, because they are protecting a privilege that only the ANC can accord them. If the ANC does the right thing, they will face prison. They can't get tenders. They don't have any influence, and some of them, they won't even have a job. It's as simple as all that. So the pushback is going to come from those people, because the ANC is their last line of defense.
If you appear before the Integrity Committee, at some point are you not obliged to stand down?
Now, this is where the tricky bit is. As Jesse Duarte explained yesterday in her conversation with Karima Brown, right? We're saying if you've been charged, resign from, step back, and allow these processes. And the ANC can initiate its own processes, which may mean that you can be disciplined or even expelled, right? But the tricky bit, she says, is that now, this is where now she kicks the can down the road, said, there's these people who are not actually helping us. And we're talking here about your state law enforcement agencies, because the mills there tend to grind very, very slowly. Now, what do you expect us to do? And then she starts citing a few cases where it says, so-and-so was once charged, only to win the case, and nothing was found against that person. What should we do under those circumstances? Now, that is where the tricky bit is. Hopefully, Cyril Ramaphosa at 4 o'clock will clarify some of these things. It's, by the way, the first time in a very long time that an ANC president is actually going to address a briefing.
I need a quick answer. There was a lot of murmuring about a cabinet reshuffle. What are you hearing?
Well, he'll say, because there was a great deal of the pushback comes a lot from within the ANC. But one would have thought that they had dealt with that. in his appointment of the cabinet, he actually dealt with, because some of the people that were supposed to be sorted out ended up being committee chairpersons. So who in his cabinet currently can he say, you know, this or the other? He just needs to crack the whip. It's as simple as all that. Because, again, if he gets to reshuffle the cabinet without telling us the rationale, it's going to be like all the other cabinet reshuffles we've had before, which didn't actually deliver the goods. So the problem is not the cabinet, it's the will to do what needs to be done.
We await to see what is unfurled a little later on today. Vuyo Mvoko is eNCA's political editor, and you're live at lunchtime on eNCA and also ETV.